lovely Sunday afternoon over here, and I figure it's time to do open some whiskey. Yeah, it's time to open some whiskey and give it a try. I have here some Wild Turkey Rye that I picked up some time ago. I think it would say here on the bill when I bought that. It says Saturday, May 6th. So June, July, it's almost August. So I've had this for about 3 months. And what was surprising about it is that they had all kinds of other bottles, but this was on the bottom shelf on the extreme left, and there were 2 rows of it. And they all had dust on them. This one still has dust on it from then. And they all had dust on them like had been sitting there for years and years. So who knows when this was bottled. But it's some time ago, I'm sure. And it says bottled by Austin Nichols Distilling Company, Lawrenceburg, Kentucky, 750 mils, 40.5% alcohol by volume. Now, there's a whole bunch of blurb on the back here. And does that look light too bright? I don't know. Let's see. Is that light too bright? Is that better? I don't know. I think this looks more natural, but anyway. It just makes it hard to read. Yeah, it does make it hard to read. I need more. There. Now at least I can read. It says here, Wild Turkey Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey is crafted with excellence by Associate Master Distiller Eddie Russell. Staying true to the tradition of our legendary bourbons, this rye whiskey uses Kentucky's pristine limestone purified water and the finest grain available to create its distinctive rich and spicy taste. Wild Turkey Rye is made from 4- and 5-year-old whiskeys, aged to perfection in heavily charred new white oak barrels. This is how rye whiskey is meant to be, bold and genuine with no compromises. 40.5% alcohol by volume. Well, let's see. Do they still make this stuff? Do they make this stuff at a higher proof? I wonder. 81 proof. Here we go. Oh, this thing tears open easily. And yeah, look at that. Got the whole thing just like that. And there's a cork in it, as there should be. And let's go for there's even a seal, Yeah, nice. Okay. Let's put this in a clean glass. Oh, just about that much. Yeah, that should do. That should last the time it takes me to shoot this video and edit it. Editing isn't too hard. I just have to tack something on the beginning and something on the end. And there we go. Maybe the light is too bright. I'll just turn it down a little bit. There. Now I look more natural. More photogenic in the dark. So, here we start with a rye. Rye is usually boldly flavored, but with 40% alcohol by volume, it should be quite easy drinking. Probably won't need any water, but I should maybe just have a bit of water first. I'm doing this before dinner and about 2.5 hours before the Scotch test dummies come on. They're going to come on with Scotch 4 dummies. So that's going to be... No, I won't say it. It's going to be a lot of dummies. So it'll be fun to watch. It'll be fun to try and figure out who's saying what at what time. That's a problem I already have with Scotch for Dummies. I don't know who's saying what. I think we had a problem with that last night too when we were on with Swami Suave, and he had a bunch of other people on. Everybody was talking at the same time. At one point, I couldn't make out who was saying. I couldn't make out anything anyone was saying. It was just voices. It was just a bunch of rhubarb, and it was entertaining. I had a good time. Okay, so let's give this a nose. I get that rye. There's also some caramel and vanilla. Caramel and vanilla and rye, like rye bread. A bit minty, but more dill than mint. Classic rye nose. Dill mint, but this one is, I don't think it's a high rye, if you know what I mean. It might be a, there's a, this is a high corn rye, I guess. I don't know what the mash bill is. It doesn't say on here, but I'm guessing it's not a, there's some corn in there. I know there's some corn in there. And quite a bit too. So this might be 60-65% rye. Probably. The rest is most likely corn and some malted barley. And the heavy charred barrels are giving quite a lot of caramel toffee, caramel notes, mostly caramel. And that rye just cuts right through it. It's good. Has a nice nose, but it's not overpowering. It's gentle enough that it's not going to kill you, based on the 81 proof. Let's have another glass of water. If you look behind my, back there, actually back there, there's a one of those water jugs that I used to take to the supermarket. I go through 3 or 4 of them every week because the tap water here is no good, or I don't like the tap water here. So I get that thing filled at the grocery store where they have a, or supermarket where they have a reverse osmosis filtering system, and the water comes out tasting really good. And last night I put them on the counter. I put 4 of them on the counter. And this morning, when I went to grab my Cheerios, the box of Cheerios was soaked about 2/3 of the way, 1/3 of the way up. I'm going, how did this Cheerios box get wet like that? And then I saw that there was some water on the counter, and there was water on the counter underneath the jugs of water. So we had to figure out which one was leaking. So I had to move them, dry the counter, move them elsewhere, and put them somewhere else. And it turns out that that one right there is the one that's leaking. Just a little tiny leak. It's just seeping through. You know, one of the seams might be coming apart, and so there was water on the counter. Anyways, enough of that little detour or segue. I'm going to taste this whiskey. Yeah, once again, that classic rye. Seems to me like I have to dig a little harder to get at it. But it's all there. A little stronger on the vanilla now, a little less on the dill. The caramel's still there. The dill and mint notes. It's not a very minty one, but the dill notes have dissipated. It smells more like a bourbon now than a rye. Well, let's see things go awry right now. Oh, there are the minty notes. Yes, a lot of mint there. A lot of minty notes. You don't get it so much on the nose, but on the palate, there is mint. Lots of mint. Maybe a bit of dill. I'm not sure. More mint. More mint than anything else. Do that again. Ah, minty. Minty, minty rye. The mouthfeel is rather viscous for a 40% alcohol by volume. The mouthfeel is rather viscous and heavy minty flavors. A little bit of dill. Now in the aftertaste, it's dry. And in the dryness, it just dries. The aftertaste just, boom, cuts itself right off. I'm not getting anything now. Not much anyway. Just a dry mouth. So it comes along like an explosion of mint at first. Then it kind of fades and fades and fades. And in that fading, there's a little bit of caramel and a little bit of vanilla, but the vanilla I find is harder to get than the caramel. But explosion of mint, then a little bit of dill, and it's pretty uncomplicated, really. Do that again. It's curious how I'm getting caramel and vanilla on the nose. And then when it's on the palate, it hits you with the mint and dill. Mostly the mint. Maybe it will change as the bottle goes down. Maybe that attack of mint at the beginning will be a little bit more toned down. Excuse me. And maybe I'll be able to get more of the caramel and the vanilla if that explosion of mint sort of calms down with time. Try that again. Okay. This time the mint is moving aside, leaving a caramel on the tongue. The mint on the sides is making my mouth water like crazy. It left some caramel on the tongue. There's a tingling there too. No, it's all gone now. Everything's gone. There was mint, then caramel, and then nothing. This one does not have much of an aftertaste at all. It's really clean. It just, you taste it for a second and zoom, it's gone. One more time. I like this. But what did I pay? says here $31.99, and bottle deposit 10 cents, $32.09. Goods and services tax $1.60, liquor tax $3.20, and total sale $36.89. Oh, for $36.89, that's not too expensive. Those are Canadian dollars, by the way. So $36.89 CAD would be about what, $28 American, something like that. It's changing too. I'm not getting so much. No, there it is. There it is on the nose. It's like a bourbon now. It must be one of those really high corn ryes. The mint as soon as you swallow. A little bit of bitterness in there too. A little bit of bitterness, a little bit of vanilla now. The caramel, and it's gone. This, as I say, with almost anything around 40% alcohol by volume, would really benefit from a higher ABV. I'm just imagining what it would taste like. And there probably is something like that on the market, but not around here, or not that I have seen. So, I will drink to your good health, and cheers.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Yeah.